Hello, and welcome to the FM Podcast. I'm Jen Fritz, and I run Fritz Media, a music publicity and digital marketing firm located in Vancouver, Canada. And this is episode number 35 of the podcast. So we got a fun one for you this week. I'm talking to West Coast singer-songwriter WiL, and we discuss the ups and downs of his long career and how to stay relevant in music. Now, I've known WiL for a long time, and he loves to chat. So you'll notice that this episode is a little bit longer than normal, but that's because we had a lot to cover. We talked about how WiL got his start in music, his career over the years, and how it all led to him releasing his new album, The Goldmine, which is coming out on May 13th. We had a really great talk, and I should warn you, there is a lot of F-bombs in this episode. So make sure you're careful where you listen to it. You know, make sure there's no little ones around. Maybe put some headphones on, just in case. Anyway, here's my conversation with WiL. Well, hello, WiL. How you doing today?
I'm doing really wonderfully.
Is that a hard question?
No, it's a hard word. I didn't know I knew saying I want to take wonderful and make it part of I'm doing wonderful. Is that right?
I'm doing wonderful. Yeah, you could say that.
Oh, there we go. I overthunk it.
You're doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderfully. Either one works, I think.
Okay,
you just gotta practice it, I think.
Okay.
I feel like you're not comfortable yet with it.
Not at all. I could have just said, well, thanks.
You could have. Yeah, you could have, but you didn't.
No. Now we're here on this word. Okay.
So I'm getting us back on track.
Go.
So you and I, we've known each other for a while, and full disclosure for everyone, you are a Fritz Media client. I think we started working together back in 2011. I think
really,
for your album Heart of Mine. Yeah.
That's crazy. Awesome.
All I remember is that Erin Kinghorn connected us. That's all I remember.
Got it.
She was like, you've got to work with WiL. And she had been a big supporter of yours for a long time. I'm sure she still is. But yeah, I just remember. So that's like over 10 years. Jesus, that's a long time.
That's I can't decide if that's for each of us to be like, we're still doing this, or like a way to go, like the wet kitten, hang in there kitten on the phone, on the little
hang in there.
Remember that? Yeah, it's like a kitten that's soaking wet, hanging off a clothing line or something in a poster. But yeah, good on you, Lasagna, for making it this far.
We're doing it, man. Well, and as it happens, the subject of today's podcast is staying relevant in music. Well, right. And so, I guess we are, but I thought that you would be someone that would be great to talk to because you've been doing this for a really long time. I mean, obviously longer than since when I started working with you. Mm-hmm. So let's kind of start at the beginning. How did your career in music first start?
Well, that's the career in music itself would be a late bloomer story for sure. I'm trying to think of one of two answers, because one is like, I first got my first guitar sort of answer, right? But that's not the career in music. I would say that legitimately I got hired to do a gig at a place called the Barley Mill in Calgary. And that's like, so using the word career would make it like I got paid to do a show, right? Is that fair?
Yeah. That's when it starts. Like you're doing something you love and somebody gives you money to do it.
No,
right?
that makes sense. Okay, for sure. So yeah, I'd gone there. I worked at a place called Luciano's, which was a restaurant on McLeod Trail in Calgary. I was a waiter. Caroline, my wife, also was a waitress there, or bartender as well. Anyhow, fast forward, we're going to the Barley Mill with a bunch of staff from Luciano's, and I happened to have my guitar in my car, or I went home and got my guitar. I can't remember, but that was back when we all drove drunk, so I don't really remember. And that was one of those things, impromptu, go get my guitar, went upstairs in the barley mill and sang a song, started singing a couple songs for our staff in the corner of this place, like this little pub. And a manager had come over and said, I believe it was Michael Redmond who had said, "Man, that's awesome. Do you want to play here?" And I'm like, no, because unless you want me to play these 3 songs for 5 hours. Like I didn't know any.
This is all I have.
This is all I have. I didn't really. Yeah, no. So that's like the first real gig, and I mean, I'm kidding, of course. I had been playing guitar for a long time and learning covers and things, and I used to have a tape recorder set on my stereo to record Mix 1060, which was this AM station that played the most current, amazing shit. It was.
Oh, you don't need to tell me. I'm from Tabor, Alberta.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
I know Mix 1060.
Hey, that guy, the monochromatic Stephen Wright voice guy that's like, deck the hall and your boss, Mix 1060, happy holidays. Like, the greatest music, though. Hey, like everything new and refreshing was coming out immediately, right? And
yeah. That was back when radio mattered, Will.
No, you're right. You're totally right. And it actually made sense what it was doing. Like it made total sense. It played songs, and then the more people liked them, the more they played those songs, and then you liked that band a lot and you bought their record, and the record would tend to even have better songs on it sometimes, you know? So I'd go home and see what kind of gold I could yield off of this tape at the end of the day, and then I would pull songs off there and learn them, and just learned covers. And that was my affinity, partly to do with, I don't know, I couldn't even tell you what I had in mind for that, other than just knowing I wanted to do that.
So you're just like in Calgary, learning a bunch of covers, playing a bunch of covers. So when did you start like, maybe I could write a song?
That would be when I moved in with my friend Jeff Lytle, and him and I became, well, we were brothers from another mother kind of right away. It was pretty great. And Jeff was a song, and still is, a songwriter. Like his natural path, I think, had always kind of had been having him lean towards being the guy behind the scenes, the guy who penned that great song. And that's also what he would have wanted to do with his life at that time, maybe, or later on we got more serious. But so Cole's notes is we became roommates. We would hang out Friday, Saturday nights, and then play music together. And there might be some people over, have a party, pass a guitar around, that kind of thing. And he would always play songs he wrote, and everyone else is singing fucking American Pie and, you know, or Heart of Gold. It's like, yeah, I get it. It's Heart of Gold. It's Neil Young. I've heard that one before. No offense, but you need to Google. Google didn't exist then. You need to run down. You need to run down to what's that great music shop and pick up, you know, Live at Massey Hall, and then learn more Neil Young songs from that. Anyway, whatever. That sounds really judgmental. We would pass a guitar around. I only know covers, but Jeff would always sing one of his own songs. And so it was just like, I mean, he'd still do some like Bob Marley and stuff, but he would pull out another new song that he wrote. And he was one of these people that infuriated me, because he'd write all the words down in a duotang, and then he would just fucking play you the song without looking at the words, and he would just play it, and he'd have all the melodies and chord changes done. And I just wow. How do you get there? You know? So he had a song called Both Hands on a Bottle of Wine that he had crafted, and I can't recall if it was completely finished or not, to be brutally honest, because we always talk about who wrote it, and I'll tell everybody he wrote it, and he'll say, no, you wrote it with me, and you took it places I could have never taken it. So, as brothers do, but I'm going to say that he basically wrote that song, and I just ended up playing it in the bar and sneak it in to the set. And 5 nights a week in Calgary, when you're playing 5 nights a week in clubs for a lot of the same faces, they start asking for that song.
Right. And so were you like, maybe I should record an album, or?
No, that was like that. That was not even on the radar either, to be brutally honest, because like we were saying earlier, when we were just having a chin wag before you started rolling, when you stand up in front of people with an instrument and sing a song for them, especially if it's one that you've written, the immediate sort of, unless you're like a 7-year-old, well, that's actually even different now nowadays. But the immediate sort of reaction for people, if it's any good, they assume that you want to be rich and famous and become a famous artist.
Right.
Especially if you actually slugged it out and did it with band members, and you were on a stage singing songs that you wrote for people. They only usually look at you going, well, that person wants to be a recording artist and be rich and famous and have world tours with their name on a jet and get Grammys. And like, that's instantly, and it's not anyone's fault to assume that, because that kind of comes with that territory sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, if you painted a picture and hung it in your home and we came over for dinner, and I'm like, well, that's a really great painting. And you're like, and then you said, well, actually I painted it. And it's like, you fucking painted that? Please tell me you've shown this to more people or thought about putting this in a gallery. Please tell me you've done more and you want to be known for this. And you're just like, no, I just painted this one painting once and that's all. And it's what gets put on you, I guess, is my point.
Right.
And so back then I had no aspirations for any of it. I just wanted to play in bars and drink for free and make people smile and happy and laugh our asses off, standing on tables, dancing and kicking shit over and going to Denny's at 4 a.m.
Right.
And that was it that's what I thought I could just do.
So how do you get from there to, you famously got signed to a major label, EMI. Mm-hmm. So what's the trajectory? How do you go from like guy getting the bar singing in Calgary to getting signed to a major label deal? Yeah, it's I guess simply put, nothing simply. I can't answer anything simple. Are you kidding? Here, I'll just keep it. I'll give you the Cole's notes, Jen. Please.
I met a guy and he liked what I did. Next question.
That's it?
No. The greatest thing about this career that I've been able to continue doing for 30, maybe 35 years now. I don't know, Oof. 30 years, whatever. The most amazing thing about it, reflecting back on it, is that all of it happened because other people either believed in you or they helped you or they were just, it was always somebody else. They motivated you or they sat you down and set you straight. Whatever it was always someone else who got me to where I am here, and not against my own free will. It would have never played out this way if it was just my doing. So my longtime friend who I met through Jeff and Jeff's brother, Bruce, is a man named Dan McManus, who was a partner in 6 Degrees Studios in Calgary. At the time, they were known as Twin Towers. And Jeff's brother, Bruce, and Dan, and Ted Osler and Johnny Iquinta they were the 4 pillars of that business. And they're a commercial studio house. Basically, Bruce had always been a composer and he worked on independent film, but I think their bread and butter then was mostly commercial work and radio work. Mm-hmm. So, and just tireless working men that accomplished a great thing with this business. And I remember Bruce used to work at a place called The Beach, and that's where he was really an actual engineer working on records then. But fast forward, the whole relationship of being brought into that world through Jeff's brother Bruce, and Bruce being a partner, Dan McManus and Ted and Johnny and Bruce, they would come to see me at a bar, and we all became fast friends. I would do a little commercial work here and there, voiceover stuff or something, and then I'm going to go with Dan saying, Swilly, I think we need to make a record with you if you want to do that. And because Dan is one of those people I was telling you earlier who keeps me very well invested in good music. Mm-hmm. He's a real musicologist. He has a really good radar about it. And he lost needing to be cool a long time ago. He shed all that weight a long time ago, and he's just him. And he's kind of a Jedi Knight to me in a lot of ways, to be honest. But So he had sort of got the ball rolling with his partners and saying, let's get, like, I have to go write some songs, and then we'll go into the 6 studios late at night every night, and we'll chisel away at something and we'll make something. And we made the Both Hands record that way. So that record was made with the push and the support and the belief and the care and the love and all those good things, you know, that your mom can give you. But it happened to be a number of people involved saying, this is something you need to pursue this, you know?
And so what year was this?
I'm gonna say that I probably started really sitting down and writing for this project in 99, maybe 97, if I have to guess. Because I know the Both Hands album came out. Actually, I don't know when it came out. I was about to say, I know that it came out in 2001. I don't know when it came out.
It was early 2000s.
Easily. Oh,
Yeah.
I think I should have done my fact checking. I should just read my bio while we're out doing this with each other.
I'm your publicist. Who's the one that should be in trouble here?
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. Hold on. Let me just fucking answer these questions oh my God, that's good. So you'll be able to find it, and then I don't know. So we'll call it 2000. I think it's even before that, because I was out doing shows, slogging that album from the side of a stage, fully independent still at this point. And I remember that in an old bio where it said I was able to sell like 6,000 copies of it off the side of a stage or something like that, if I'm recalling something that you...
Oh, I remember that bio.
Yeah, there you go. And that's when, you know, a record label had taken interest. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. That's when we realized there's more to it than this, and I've got something.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have the real work ethic, though, the real, like, you know, sit in the basement for 20 hours a day, sleep for 4, and chain smoke, and, you know, and just be a genius with prolific music making. I was still just having fun, and I would play shows because they're there, and I wasn't taking it seriously enough, even though it was amazing having an album. I couldn't believe I'd written 11 songs, you know?
Yeah.
And we had a record release party at a big club in Calgary, because I was part of the club scene heavily then by bartending and also performing in them. So you can ask a lot of your friends for favors and playing amazing places. And we really had an amazing circle of friends, and we all felt like the King of Kensington at times, because we could just go anywhere.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's an old school reference.
Totally it is. Yeah, Al Waxman. But it was amazing being a part of this crew of people that were from all different clubs and pubs. And when you have a night off, you go to a restaurant or a bar and you don't wait in line, and you just go in and you don't pay for drinks, but you stuff more money in that tip jar than you would have paid if you just paid your tab, you know? So it was a real heyday of a time. For 10 years, it felt like it ran.
Yeah.
And I'd start getting into a list of names of all those people, but I know this has to stay shorter. So we immediately, I think, again, with the influence of Bruce and Dan specifically, saying, look, there's this thing called North by Northeast, or North by Northeast. It's the Toronto one, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. You need to get yourself a band and get out there, maybe, or... like, because I'd always played alone. I played with my guitar and that was it. And I had an overdrive pedal on my acoustic, and I sang. And I'm like, oh, guys, whoa, let's put on the brakes a little bit here. Like, I don't want this much disruption.
whoa.
Oh, no, it's true. Like, it was like, now you're talking record labels and fucking Junos. Like, what the fuck, man?
What?
Nobody even bothered to ask me, what do I want out of this? You know, I just want a pint of beer and a cigar, and
you're like, I'm happy over here, guys.
Honestly, I kind of, it's true. Like, and not to, but you don't realize you're also drinking 5-6 nights a week, getting home at 4 a.m. with one eye closed, and that can get old, right?
Oh, totally.
So, yeah. So I think it was wonderful that this little window opened up for an opportunity to take it a little more seriously and go do the North by Northeast. I found a drummer, great, another musicologist, Mike Bresanuti, I think born and raised Calgarian, and he happened to say yes. And then we went to Toronto, and we played at this point now, I'd had enough mileage under my belt of knowing how to show up and show up to any dive and get on a stage with monitors that may or may not work and just plug in and dig in.
Mm-hmm.
So there wasn't that, super fear of anything. I just went there kind of already sort of like seasoned a little bit.
Yeah.
And because North by Northeast at the time, at least, they were all held in bars and clubs, and I'm sure they still are.
Yeah.
And so that wasn't daunting. And then I also remember thinking, we came to Toronto, and I like Mike, and Mike and I get along well. And hey, there's beers after we're done doing this, and we like doing what we're doing. And then we'll go out and see other bands, and kind of lost the plot on even giving a shit if we actually met anybody that was part of any kind of music business. And so we played a venue that clearly had nobody in it because we're nobody to come see. There wasn't anyone in the room, and it would have been like at like maybe 4 PM or 5 or something. And I bought the front of house tech a Corona beer and said, "This is just my appreciation for you. It's not to like make us sound any better or worse because we're probably your 14th band today. Just fucking stay here while I play for 10 minutes. Don't turn up the faders and leave." Fair enough. And or start reading a book or something, and he's like
pay attention.
Yeah. And he didn't take it any other way, but awesome. He's like, "Fuck, thank you for this. You have no idea. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. I'm going to mix the shit out of this." And I'm like, okay. So we went up and played the shit out of the show that the guy mixed the shit out of. And out of 9 people, 2 of them were from 2 different record labels.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It was Tim Tremblay. And so Tim was with EMI at the time. And then it was Alan Reed, who was from Universal at the time.
Yeah.
Or it could have been Kim Cook.
Oh, Kim sounds about right.
I think that's, yeah.
I feel like Kim would have come to your show.
Yeah. So they were both there in that room out of the only other like 5 other people or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
And then it went from there. They both wanted to sign us, and then we got into a conversation with where do we go and how do we do this? And I have to also throw out, I feel like this is not an acceptance speech for this award, by the way, but
this whole podcast is just an acceptance speech.
Hey, I'd like to thank. What did you win? Nothing, but I'm still doing what I love to do. But
that's what you won.
I can stop now. I could. Okay, yeah.
Bring it back, Will. Bring it back.
I forgot to mention that Rob Patty from Feldman and Associates had taken us already. Yeah, that's right.
You already had a booking agent.
Yeah, he's the missing link. He came to a show, went, "Done, I'm in." And then that guy was a champ, such a super champ for us.
I can hear Patty saying that. "Done, I'm in."
Yeah. Oh yeah, that guy. I think only my mom believed in me more. Like it was wonderful to have him. So he might have even definitely been part of that sort of, you need to go do this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Yeah. So now we're back on track we do have a booking agent, and then we go play to the 2 labels, and then we got to pick one. And like that sounds like such a great position to be in. You must be fucking awesome if you get 2 guys bidding for you. And it's like, no, that's not awesome, because you're going to say no to one of them.
Yeah.
and you don't, I don't know. And the great thing about, I just shit myself on Cook's name.
Oh, Kim Cook?
Kim Cook.
Yeah.
Him specifically, I really, really liked him a lot.
He's an amazing music lover and has been an incredible supporter to a lot of musicians over the years.
Exactly.
And he has great ears, good taste.
Yeah. So go figure. Believe it or not, I bond with him. I ended up going to his house and listening to a demo of Pilot.
Oh, I forgot about Pilot.
Yeah. And I absolutely loved it. And he asked me what I really thought of it. And then we went in the house and I met his wife, I think. So all these things, imagine all this is happening. And I love Kim to the point where we hugged each other when I left. And he says, "Whatever your decision is, I won't take it personally." And we chose EMI. And so it's not something that like, oh, I would have wished I would have, could have, should have. But for other reasons that had to do more with maybe more administrative or more other people involved in helping me with the decision, it seemed to be the better way to go. And I'd seen Kim from that point on well afterwards, and then got to meet Alan. And you know what, in that whole business of like people who can turn on the charm and have you believe that they've got your best interests at heart, I really feel, I will say this like to the day I die, that Kim Cook is one of those rare birds for sure.
Oh, I totally agree with you.
Yeah. And I also really felt that about Alan. And I just, the truth is in the pudding for sure, when behind the doors of life and stuff. But it's so bizarre. I fucking loved those guys and signed with EMI, but I didn't not like EMI. I fell in love with Dean Cameron. I used to crush on everybody I met that was easy to look up to. That's just how wide-eyed and bushy-tailed I was about all of it. And Dean Cameron was like a father figure.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was like that with a lot of people.
Yeah, he was. He was a very well loved man at EMI.
Oh, totally,
for sure. Yeah.
So that's the Skinny Mini. We signed with them, and they picked us up with our album that we already had, and they distributed it, and then we made By December with EMI, which was our first record with them.
Right, and so you made you didn't make 2 records with them, but you released 2 records with them.
Yeah, totally. They picked up ours that was already a thing, and they distributed both hands, and then we made By December with them.
And then what happened? Were they like, we're done, or?
No. The times were changing like pretty rapidly. Like we always joke about how our timing is horrible in this industry, especially Dan and I and Caroline. And when we talk about it, sometimes we're either way before a curve or way late to the punch. It's like, I remember one of Dan's friends coming to the Rivoli to watch one of our showcases and said to Dan while I was playing, the problem with WiL is that he's not nearly quite cool enough for all these fucking cool bands that are up and coming. And he's way too cool for the straight shooters. Or the maybe
like the folkies, maybe?
No, not straight shooters. I shouldn't say that. The more straight up pop rock prepackaged sort of churn.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
He's not that guy, and he's not cool enough for that world. And those were the 2 worlds that were really, really, look at Arcade Fire coming up.
Yeah.
And that's when the revolution really happened for Canada, I think, where the independent music scene was going to be a major threat to the prepackaged stuff,
Totally. So it was kind of like they didn't know where to put you.
No, not at all. And that said, man, we would tour with like from Big Sugar to Jan Arden to Corb Lund to like, we opened a set in Nashville for the Bordello Go Bordello. Yeah. Like Burton Cummings. And then we went out with Feist in the States for a couple dates. And like, we played with all of the genres of music that I could think of or that I adored and liked.
Yeah.
And we did well every single time. We were embraced by their audience. And so I didn't think that was an identity crisis at all. I thought that was the opposite of having an identity crisis. And so we'd keep coming back going, well, just fucking put us anywhere. And it's like, well, you don't understand. We're making records and they have to fit in a certain slot, And I understood it. So yeah, so we met Dave McKinnon from the Fembots, which but still is an amazing all-around producer, musician, singer-songwriter gent out of Toronto that is part of a very heavy independent music scene. And so the label EMI, specifically Fraser Hill, had said, let's just get WiL with a really non-industry guy to make a really unique record and see if we can, like, he had a great idea. I loved it because he's like, we're the big label, but let's get a small independent, remarkably talented grassroots individual. Let's take that and put him with WiL and see what we get with it. And that was the By December record. And
so that's 3 records with EMI now.
That would be the second one that we did. We recorded with them, and so that's three albums under.
Yeah, they released 3. Yes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and that was a fucking awesome experience living in Toronto and tracking with Dave. And so, yeah, we tried that out. And I think the By December record's pretty sweet, but it was never, again, it floated with disaster. It didn't flirt with it. It floated, it floated with disaster. It was tough to put it somewhere, you know? And some of those songs I remember going out on, when we'd go out on tour, and if we'd end up in a place that's a little bit more like Grand Prairie, in a place there, looking out at a lot of rig jockeys and stuff, and we waltzed and country rocked our shit. You know, like we went out on tour with Matt Good, and he put us in front of a lot of different places, and we almost played our songs according to the demographic of the people. Like, it was so funny, dude. I mean, like, we've played metal bars. We've like, okay, well, all the overdrive pedals are going to stay on tonight. You know, it's just having that sort of, when you come from that world of playing music 5 nights a week in bars for a lot of different people, you figure out how to play the room.
So you know how to read the room. Like you can look at an audience and know what you have to give to them, basically.
I think so, you know, like, not, and I'm saying that just from an honest place, like, enough time in front of enough audiences, you would hope that you get pretty good at figuring that out.
Well, we know the industry didn't know what to do with you. So what happened then? So you put out By December, and then what? And then EMI's like, listen, Will, we don't know what to do with you.
Well, I know that they were also going through, as Ozzy Osbourne would say, changes. I'm going through change, you know, like, sorry, EMI, but that it was just how it was going. Like, again, we hooked up with them when they were shrinking, and the industry was changing. The landscape was just like, it wasn't even changing as much as it was being decimated with wildfires, and then condos were going up. It's like, it was just like,
that sounds about right. Yeah,
it was pretty crazy. And I think that, like, it was one of those, Dean Cameron being the father figure that he is, it was that sort of like, it was kind of like how I was asked to leave school, but I could always come back if I want to when I think I'm ready. Mm-hmm. So he just, like, he was amazing. He said that this isn't working right now, and we're shrinking, and the industry is all over the map, and we just got to let you go, but just keep being you and doing what you're doing. And you have to trust me. It's going to take you places.
Amazing.
And it really was, actually, you know. And I guess I just had a hell of an experience and a wonderful time with Aaron, as you mentioned, and Rain Monroe. At the time, her boyfriend Johnny, like, we all hung out, and we all loved each other's company. So on we go. And I think that was the last record we did with them, or
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, totally. Because what's the next record? Do you have it up in front of you?
Well, let me just Google that for you. Well, you'll be surprised to know I just don't have your discography memorized, Will.
Oh no, hell! It's like, that's actually a relief. Like, thank you.
Okay, so By December comes out in 2007. Your next album comes out in 2010. In This Together. Is that correct?
And then we went on to just make our own music again.
So you guys then you guys were just like, let's do this ourselves, basically?
Yeah. And, well, again, back to the beginning of this, which I hope you were recording for when I think you were, when I would mention that this is all based on only other people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, and that's not some sort of bullshit thing that I read about in some new book that has me self-actualized or something. It's something that I've always known, and I've only ever known it, and I'll always know that, is that the people who have gotten me to where I am, like, and it's not like they set out to make me something. I'm talking about friends, family, the real give a shit people. And, you know, in return, you give that much of a shit about people when you care about somebody, and you do things for people. And what that turns you into is someone who just does that.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
so, and it's not a karma thing either. Like, I never understood that whole thing about how I'm banking my karma, because I thought that was the polar opposite of what it was intended to be. Like, for you to do something nice so you could have good shit. I didn't think it's supposed to work that way.
I don't think it's supposed to. I always look at it like, it always makes me feel better to do it. Like,
good.
I feel good when I do something nice for somebody. And so,
well, that's good though.
Yeah. So that's why I do it. Like, it's a good feeling to have. Right. And, you know, and in turn, I hope that someone does something nice for me or helps me out, feels good about it. too. Like,
Yeah, and goes on to be good to people. But yeah, so this whole entire adventure is bringing me back to my point about the In This Together album, which is the title. And it was titled that because, again, that's all I knew. Like, I could get out of bed myself. Like, that didn't require anyone's help. But man, like, and I was never a useless tit on a board. I just was sort of very attention deficit, sort of all over the map. A lot of, hey, a big red shiny ball, that house is on fire. You should see this drawing that I just did on a $5 bill. Like, it was just, when you're all over the map, you need people to be able to direct you and hone things for you a bit, I guess.
Yeah.
So the In This Together album, Dan's neighbors, are these a couple that are fans of what we do, and EMI is dropping us, and Dan's friend catches wind of this just in chit chat, and actually, there's no governing protection thing. I'm just going to say it's Reed and Carrie, and Dan spoke to Reed, and Reed had said, "How's Will doing?" Well, the label's probably going to drop him, and we're not really sure what the next step is. And Reed's like, "What the fuck? How? What?" And so Reed and his wife Carrie said, "Well, what do we need to do to make sure he doesn't disappear like 99% of the rest of them that don't get another shot?" And so they literally funded that album.
Oh, incredible.
Yep, they funded our album because they're such believers. I won't get into a whole bunch of who they are. I just kind of keep it kind of private, but they got involved with us for the right reasons. And the intentions behind it. And then Jeff's brother Bruce is like, "I'll produce it." And at the time, Bruce was doing another Jan Arden record, I think, wrapping one up. And he said, I'll tell you what, let's go to Nashville, where I've got a great relationship with these people at this studio, and we'll make it there. And that was it. We went to Nashville and we made the In This Together record.
And that's the beginning of like kind of the career that you've had since then, where you just basically doing it on your own, but like obviously with help from, you have an enormous fan base, which I think really speaks to why you've been in the industry for so long. We talk a lot about creating community on the podcast, and I think that you have an incredible community with your fans, and that speaks to the type of performer you are. I think anybody who's seen you live can see it. You're very authentic. You're very powerful. You're going crazy on the guitar. The audience loves it. They do feel something from it. You both get something from each other, which is any good show, right? Like a good show is when the energy is going and coming, right? Like you're both getting something. And every time I've seen you live, I have seen that. Like, that's always a good show. And it's not something that's easy to do. Let me tell you. In terms of like, I'm sure that community has really sustained your career for as long as it has as an independent musician. And I know touring is a big part of your music career. What was it like to not be able to tour for the last couple of years during COVID?
Right. Yeah. Oddly enough, we were out at the beginning of Armageddon when government theaters were still allowed to put you in you were allowed to be behind plexiglass and have 80% of the venue taped off with yellow tape, which is like, what the fuck? What is happening? But for the most part, not touring, not doing shows. Truth is that as soon as the solutions for this came out by way of, say, Zoom, right? Mm-hmm. And that was the new thing that we had to gravitate towards and stampede towards, buying cameras and microphones for your studio, set them up in a venue and play shows to give to your fans. And I totally understood why, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. And it wasn't out of spite. It was because, back to that evolution thing, like not that long ago when we'd go play a show and, when I got to go down to Seattle and open for Leslie Feist, and I played for 25 minutes, she came out and thanked the handsome man with glasses, and I proceeded to go to the lobby and sell 95 albums.
Amazing.
And that's a sustainable existence.
Yeah.
You work hard to make the music, you play the show, play your ass off, you meet people and they buy your CDs. So all of a sudden we blink and it's now called sharing and so forth. And And when me evolving through all of that and already seeing how much of that changed and how the CD sales have all basically come to a halt, and you got to make LPs, make records for the real audiophiles. It's like I got to travel with another 900 pounds worth of fucking moving boxes to drag them into a venue so somebody cool enough can buy 3 of them. I'm
No.
I'm at a loss, you know? And I love records, don't get me wrong. I've got my record player right here. So yeah, back to the Zoom thing, when it's like you got to get online, you got to get online, you got to get together with Keith and do it and do it and do it and do it. And then I started seeing the world doing it, and I started seeing different versions of it when they do the Brady Bunch blocks of people chiming in, and how bad some of the sound would be and how dry and horrible and uncomfortable somebody would look, like they're running underwater when they're performing because they can't fucking stand what's happening right now, but they're told this is what they got to do. And I'm like, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll come up with a way to make this not about us. And I thought, I know what we're going to do. I'm just going to have our fans ask me to dedicate a song to someone they care about, and then we'll read the story and pick a real doozy of one, and we're going to sing a song and dedicate it to them.
Amazing.
And that was the only way I could get my head around being, hey, look at me, you know?
Yeah.
Keep looking at me. Don't ever stop looking at me or I'll go away. And like I just it became only about that guy who wanted to dedicate it to his mom who passed away or whatever it was that means something to me. So that was fun. We did Dedicated To. We ran a few of those, maybe 7 or 8 of them. And then I was able to, I guess, ultimately finish this record, which is why we're really talking. Maybe
well, I mean, it's part of the reason. It's part of the reason.
Oh yeah, the new album. Fuck. I'm still doing this, aren't I?
Yeah.
Did you, Jen, did you know that we have a new record out?
Yeah. Did I mention the topic is staying relevant in music? And the reason you're here is because you started in the 90s. It is now 2022. And
is it really?
And you are still making music. So you have a new album. It's called The Gold Mine. It is. It's coming out on May 13th. And you have just released the first single, which is called I'm Sorry. Now, this is a sweet little love song. But the thing that stands out about it is you're known for your guitar playing, but it doesn't feature the guitar. So
none of the albums even do, to be brutally honest. Yeah. Other than the rhythm, I play rhythm and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you know, this entire time we've been doing this, I've been so engrossed with us talking that I'm not even remotely making it up. I forgot about this new album. Like no, because we've gone so far into my past, and I started getting really detailed about answering your questions, right?
I liked it.
And so
I just was trying. Good. I was trying to steer the ship, Will. That's what I do. I let you go, and then I brought you back in.
Yeah, again, without you could just stop, and I'll sit here and keep talking till tomorrow morning.
Oh, I know, Will.
And then I'll look up and be like, Jen.
I know.
Fuck, I think she's gone.
I knew someone had to be in charge here, Will. It's okay. Oh. So why don't you tell us a little bit about this new song? It's more of a piano-driven song. It's again a nice little authentic, sweet love song. The thing that I think about, I'm wondering like what your fans have any of your fans like said anything to you about it? Like I'm wondering what the reaction's been. We've
had just positive response from friends. Mm-hmm. And I don't know about the fans thing yet because Caroline's on that end of it. She takes care of all that stuff.
And it did just
exactly. No, you're right. It absolutely did just come out. But the one thing that would make sense in like something that I think is important to get out about this album is that like, okay, well, I won't go too far off because I can always come back. But yes, the sparseness of that song. This was the last song written for the album. And I wrote it in as much time as it takes to sing. I sat down, I fucking did it, and then I recorded it, and then I overdubbed everything on it, and it was finished. And Caroline came home, I think that day, and just I gave her the headphones, and she's like, "This has to be on the record. What the fuck?" But that said, the process of making music here in my little box in the woods the way that I made the songs album and the way that I've made this album, aside from later passing it on to be mixed and mastered. But when I'm in here on my own, something happens where everything you do is you being you on you, deciding for you, adding to you. So there's something that can actually be it can backfire and it can be really awful and just too much of you. Or it's just your human stain that really gets to shine through in these little moments. And that's one song on that album that can speak to that. Like, it was really easy to write because there was no mandate. There was nothing attached to it for what it needs to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, yeah. And I was really surprised that Dan and Caroline and yourself had chosen to make that as a single off of that. Cause I
unanimously.
Yeah, no, you all did. And I don't hear it. And I'm not being self-deprecating. I'm just saying, like, I don't hear the single of it, but people are getting goosebumps by it. And that's wonderful. That's the job that I'm setting out to do, really. If there is a mandate,
yeah,
it'd be great to have you moved by it. Right.
Well, that's it. Like, when I listened to the album, it was the one song that I kept going back to.
Nice.
And it's always like, I always think when you listen to a song for the first time, your very first emotional response to it is the most important thing. Yep. Right. So yeah, you can tell right away. Mm-hmm. I can anyway. Like, it's just the authenticity of it comes through somehow. Yeah. I really liked it, I think.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah. So yeah. And the Goldmine record, I mean, yep, that got to a place where it was too much of me on me. My head was so far in my own asshole that I didn't recognize half the stuff because I'd been beating it up for 4 years, this album.
Yeah.
4 years I've been coming into the studio, opening and closing and oh my God, it was insane. I mean, I legitimately might have some sort of mental disability that would require medication or something, because it's either useful, like being hyper focused and taking 88 takes of the same guitar, or it's insanity.
Yeah.
And it just depends how you're applying that OCD or whatever the thing you might have, right?
Yeah.
And so the saving grace, or the saving grace for sure, is when I got to a place where the songs were really wonderful and these were only meant to be demos. I looked at Caroline and said, I can't do this anymore with this shit. We got to do something with it. And she'd said, ask Bryden Baird if he wants to mix it. And he's like another Jedi Knight, basically, mm-hmm. of music study, of real musicianship. And he was on one of our albums back with Dave McKinnon, I think, is how we met him. And then he had gone on with his brother or brothers to be the Baird brothers. I think his drummer Jesse and him, maybe, I believe, were Feist's backing band for the Reminder tour for that album.
Oh, wow.
That Reminder record, actually, that she did in France, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He and his brother, they're on that whole album, and he went off to see the world and expose the world to that great record. And that's how I got on those dates in the States, was because of Bryden.
Oh, amazing.
And yeah. So he's that guy. Like Jason Collette, I think, couldn't do the dates. So he calls me up in the middle of a Matt Good tour and says, do you want to come down here and have your life? He would never say have your life changed, but he's doing it to give you something wonderful.
That's amazing.
And yeah, he's insane. So anyway, just called him and like, I got a shit pile of music in these Logic sessions that I don't know how to make heads or tail of them anymore, but we know they're good. Would you mix them? And he's like, I would be honored. I'd love to. And so he did.
All right. So just wrapping things up a little bit here. You've had a very long career. You're going to be putting out an album in May. You're obviously going to continue to tour and make music well into your old age. What do you think is key to staying relevant and having a long career in music? Do you have any advice to give to aspiring musicians or people just starting out in the business?
Wow. That's a question that you hear often, and you hear other people answer it and you think, that's not how I would have answered that. And then you're asked that question and you're like a deer in the headlights. This is the first time in our knowing each other that I'm not going to be able to say anything right away. No,
Oh my God.
I know.
I did it. I did
You
it.
broke the mainframe or whatever.
Oh my God, this is
Yeah.
amazing. I love
There's no
this.
more. There's no
This is
more
amazing.
raining green numbers anymore. It's just like, I would really, and I will say this because this is how I felt when we started. So this isn't some old guy wisdom thing. This isn't some sage thing. It's something I still believe. When we started out, more so than not in meetings, like board meetings, is that you can, they really are board meetings, and there's a lot of people. It's a team of people, whether it's your agency or the label. I remember very distinctly saying, I would like it if we could become the greatest opening band that ever lived, where there isn't hype based on any of it. No one really knows who we are for that matter, but we show up and play to whoever is in the audience at that time with zero expectation. And we perform, and it's for 45 minutes, and we blow people away and we leave. And I would like to have a career like that. And when you tell, like, Dean Cameron sitting there with your manager at the time, which is my friend Dan McManus, who became my manager, and whomever else is in the room, 9 out of those 10 people just laugh, and they think that I'm being silly, because I am a silly person too. And I remember saying those words and only meaning it because I'd seen enough of the industry and I'd known enough about it, and I wasn't going to naysay it and be against it. All I knew is that the thing that I wanted to do more than anything was play music in front of people. So what I realized then was all the other heavy lifting, as Dan would say, or all the other bureaucracy or all the other bullshit that can become instantly attached to that requires it to be the machine to keep it moving. It all gets really convoluted very quickly, and it can have some magically, profoundly wonderful moments as well. But the thought of having it be 95% business and then only 5% of it is people who give a shit enough to watch you sing a song was frightening to me. So fast forward to this day and age, like we were discussing, in the way technology works now and the way younger bands are identifying with the world and being, on social media.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say that I'm getting to a point too. I swear I'm getting to a point. If you are going to be an artist that wants to play an instrument and tell a story through a song, I'll just use that as the medium, and that's something that's in you to do only focus on ever doing that as much as humanly possible. And now, granted, nowadays, if you're super shy and you have Nick Drake syndrome, you can't get up in a coffee shop without pissing your pants. So you do it online, and that's a very safe place, and I admire and respect that. However, not even however, if that's how you choose to only be seen, and that keeps you feeling healthy and good, do that. But the aspirations that I see in a lot of younger people is to be very, 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 very well known. I'll just use rich and famous again as a term, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that the caution with that is, please understand that there's so much responsibility that comes with being either one of those things. And you can easily lose the plot very quickly without even noticing it if your main focus and drive that you spend every waking moment thinking about doing is the playing for people and moving a person. So I guess what I'm saying is that, like, if your thing is, oh man, it's trimming bonsai trees and you're making bonsai trees and doing that, and that's your art form and that's your thing, and then your wife happens to take pictures of it for Instagram as I'm trimming my bonsai trees, and behind the scenes the whole time she blows it up into some sort of billions of followers thing, and then they want to fly you to Japan and trim with the greatest trimmers of bonsai trees and turn it into this thing. If you're doing that and you have zero interest in any of it because all of your focus and attention is on your tree and in your little shop and your little tree, and that's what you're doing, then just make sure that you stick with that focus of that being the most important thing that can't be altered. It doesn't mean you can't go to Japan and learn from a great master or be proud of your wife for having posted photos of it. just always remember that you are great at trimming a bonsai tree and creating one and growing one. And the rest of it happens, and it has to happen, especially with that change and that sort of that path. But if it's music, make sure as much as humanly possible that you're not doing it for a paycheck. You're not phoning it in because, or putting on that smile, or feeling like you're putting on the airs and pushing it into a place that you don't recognize you or what it is you're doing. Trust me, I swear, if you stick with the basics of knowing of you being immersed in your craft and letting the rest take care of itself, I think there's more success that's sustainable for the rest of your life that way, in my own personal opinion on it. I don't know if any of that was an answer.
What you're saying is don't lose sight of why you started doing it in the first place.
I could have just said that just as easily, and it would be way shorter and
that's
more
fucking. That's what I'm here for.
Wow. But it's, and we've heard people say that over the years because those are people that have some wisdom to bestow upon us. But those words that you just said that summarizes what I'm trying to get out. Like, for the love of God, don't end up being 60 and realize that that was the key to it the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is not an easy industry for anyone. It's just, no, it just isn't.
So I think now is probably a good time to head on over to our fresh content segment. Every week on the show, we discuss our favorite piece of music content for the week, and we always like to start with the guest.
Hi.
So Will, what do you got for us?
Me and Magdalena is a song on Spotify.
on the Spotify.
For those of you that are new to the computer systems, it's a field. It's not a platform. It's a field called Spotify. Anyway, Jen, I almost want you to just, when we're done, go listen to the song. I wish people could listen to the song without knowing who did it. Can I say who it is? You can say it because you pulled it up, and it's fucking crazy. It's the Monkees. It is the Monkees, the actual pop group from the 60s that blew up and had their own television show, and in the 70s, and it's the Monkees. Hey, we're the Monkees. And this song, it will give people goosebumps with how beautiful it is. It is so beautifully crafted and so well done. And I don't even understand it. And I'm going to try to pursue more of figuring out how and when it was made. Amazing. Because on the Spotify, it says 2016. And I think that's just a release of some classic tunes. It's remarkable. Like, I could swear Joni Mitchell was singing with them. It's that good. Okay. I'll definitely listen to that. Please what else? Do. And then, well, the music score thing has been a big part of my life for a long time. Especially working with Dan at 6 Degrees and doing music composition. So the latest compositions of music that I'll give you one. It's called 25 Years by Johnny Greenwood. Oh, Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead. Yeah. So he's a phenomenal composer of film. He is. And There Will Be Blood was his real big, like, crazy. I don't believe it was a debut necessarily, but that was a big one for him. And he scored that entire film. Yeah. So he just recently did The Power of the Dog. Oh, I just watched that, and the score is incredible. Okay. Well, there you go. So the opening song, or the song that I guess kind of is sort of represents, I guess you could call it its theme maybe, but it's called 25 Years. Okay. And it is from the Power of the Dog film. And I think it opens with that tune, but I can't be sure. Well, what I do know is as I was watching it, I Googled to see who did the score, because I was like, when you actually notice the music in something, that's pretty incredible. It is. And especially in a movie that is so visually stunning as Power of the Dog is. You're right. Yeah, you're totally right. And you know what's interesting? You had just said, if you notice the music, that's incredible. The funniest thing about this industry is that there's this weird statement that if you notice the music, then I haven't done my job properly. You're supposed to seamlessly put it into film and have you just live the experience. But I don't buy that, because there's a fucking great score is a fucking great score. I agree. Yeah, I totally agree. If I'm sitting there going, holy fuck, this sounds good, who did that? Yeah. I think that's pretty good. I mean, and for those of you listening that are interested in more scores from film, just look up Trent Reznor. Oh, yeah. Look up Hans Zimmer. He just did Dune. And when you watch Dune and you listen to Dune, other than the bagpipes, you're like, he's reinventing notes because this film is 1,000 years from now. What, like, and it's
true.
super cool. Yeah. So thanks for letting me have those.
Okay, so my fresh content for the week is probably not going to surprise anyone because I've been talking about it on my socials since it came out, although it'll probably surprise you, Will, since you're not on social media. And that is the new single from Harry Styles called As It Was. And it is the greatest song I have heard in a long time. It is the perfect pop song. I love it so much.
Okay.
The video is incredible. It just came out, and I have probably watched the video like 100 times.
Really?
I'm basically obsessed.
That's what. No, but that's wonderful though, because like he's just like,
I love him.
Well,
he's just like he's just this like cheeky little guy, and he's so talented. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just like his presence.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Do you know what I mean? I just like him.
No, there's other than me knowing that he's in Dunkirk, I think.
He is, yeah.
And then, but his Stevie Nicks thing for that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think.
Yeah,
that was wonderful. But Sign of the Times, I think, was that tune that was.
Oh,
huge.
that song's so good.
It's so ridiculously good.
I still listen to that all the time because he's immensely talented.
Yeah.
Anyway, the song I was telling a friend about it, and I said it's so good that I don't even care that it sounds like Aha.
Oh wow! Now I'm really intrigued. No, I really am because the Blinding Lights song by Weeknd is Take On Me.
Oh yeah, it is. And this you as soon as you hear it, that synth, it's like the synth is exactly the same, like that 80s synth.
Yeah.
But I was like so into it, and the video is incredible. Will, as soon as we're done, you're gonna watch it, and then you're gonna text me and go, Fritz, that was amazing.
Okay.
So thanks so much for joining us today, or for joining me. There's nobody else here, so thanks so much for joining me, Will. Anything you want to plug before we go? How about your new song?
This is like wrapping up Hot Ones. Look at that camera, that camera, that camera. Tell them what you got going on. Do I plug my new song? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard when your publicist is interviewing you because I'm going to tell you what to say. Well, let's see what you could plug. You have some shows coming up, so they can go to your website, which is ibreakstrings.com to see all of your upcoming tour dates. New song on all digital streaming platforms called I'm Sorry, and a new album called The Gold Mine coming out on May 13th.
So we're using what you just said, right?
Yeah, so we're done.
Yeah, and what I would say though is we just finished doing. We did right before the pandemic. We played a place called the Blue Frog in White Rock, and that night was astonishingly good with our friend Sean Vereau, who sat in with us and played basically the whole night.
Yeah,
the Blue Frog is so unbelievably well set up that we cut an album that night.
Oh yeah.
And we put that album out.
You did right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Totally. So that was also part of the answer of like, you know what you got to do? You got to do a live thing with a live thing. This is what you got to do. You got to buy this and get Zoom and do that and sound like, you're singing in an empty can of beans. But we had the live record done thanks to the Blue Frog. And those fucking guys there are so dialed. So we just played there again recently. And so on our website, you can watch that entire show for anybody who is an actual fan of our music and just wants to see us playing live. That I could get my head around doing more of that in a place like that with those people.
Well, it's such an incredible studio.
It's nuts. It's nuts. And everyone there is remarkable. And I mean that. And so would love to do more of those, which just, I think from now on, I'm just going to write new material and go there and record it as a live album in a stream.
Why not? Put it on your website for your fans to purchase if they want to. That's fine.
100%. Okay. Yeah. I just keep saying, no. What does that mean?
It means, you know what it means? You know what it means, Will? It means it's time to fucking go. So anyway, thanks again, Will. And I hope you have a good rest of your evening. Bye.
Is that how you say goodbye at the end of your podcast?
Bye.
Bye. I like it.
Bye.
That's a great way to dismiss anybody who's annoying you.
Bye.
Excuse me. I couldn't help but follow you into the grocery store. You took my parking space.
Bye.
I'm in.
We're idiots, right? That was such a fun interview, and I just want to say thanks again to WiL for coming on the show. Thanks so much for listening to the FM podcast. If you like the show, please tell your friends and give us a rating and review in Apple Podcasts. It really helps us out. It helps get the word out about the show. And, you can also help us out by telling a friend about the podcast or posting about it on social media. Whatever you can do, we'd really appreciate it. The FM podcast is produced by Fritz Media with production assistance from Carla J. If you want to learn more about Fritz Media, check out our website at fritzmedia.ca. And you can follow us on Facebook, we're at Fritz Media, and on Instagram and Twitter at Fritz_media. If you want to learn more about the podcast, go to thefmpodcast.com. A big thank you, as always, to Said the Whale for providing the theme music for the show, and you can find them at saidthewhale.com. Okay, so we're going to go out with our song of the week this week, which, of course, is going to be a song from WiL. This is his brand new single, I'm Sorry.
I'm not sure what I said. I kinda lost my head. I'm sorry. Well, baby, can I see you tonight? Make everything alright. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I hope that you can see the truth. I'm sorry. I know that we can make it too. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You say we need a little time to play a little lost and found. Well, I'm sorry. What are we looking for? Maybe get back to the day we had so much to say. Well, don't worry, baby, you worry. You know you've got to believe me. The words that are coming out of my mouth. At least this time I'm pretty sure I know what it is that I'm talking about. Just take me home with you now, and I will hold with you now all the snapshots of life that we had. It wasn't so sad we could get it all back. You just gotta believe me. I'm sorry. Baby, just gotta believe me.
Bye. I'll see you next Tuesday.